Hello Epic Kids, how are you all? Well, here we are in December and it's only 19 days until Christmas. I've got my tinsel, I'm all ready. This week, it's the first week of Advent. Have you all got your Advent calendars to count down the days until the big day? I have. Now, it was my birthday last week. I had a lovely day, I got some lovely presents and I got lots of cards from my friends and family. Everyone made a fuss of me. Birthdays are really good fun, aren't they? Who can tell me whose birthday it is that we celebrate on Christmas Day? It's a silly question, isn't it? Because I know that you all know. It's Jesus, of course, isn't it? So today, I want us to think about the birth of Jesus. Now, it wasn't like how babies are born in this country today. Jesus didn't arrive into the world in a nice big warm house or hospital with doctors or nurses running around making sure everything was okay. Jesus didn't have a nice cot to sleep in with a pretty mobile hanging over it and a nice warm snuggly blanket keeping him cosy. Jesus was born in a stable with the animals. Doesn't sound very cosy, does it? Or clean or hygienic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you the story from Luke chapter 2. In those days, the government decided they were going to count everyone that lived in that part of the world. Everyone went back to the town they were from to register. That meant Joseph had to take Mary to the town his family was from, which was called Bethlehem. Mary and Joseph were going to be married and Mary was going to have a baby soon. It took Mary and Joseph a long time to get to Bethlehem. They didn't have cars or buses or things like that back then, and to get anywhere you had to either walk or ride on animals like donkeys. Travelling from one town to the next could take all day. Soon Mary was going to have her baby and she was probably feeling very exhausted. When they reached the town, all the places that had rooms for people to stay in were full. Joseph couldn't find anywhere for them to stay, and the time came for Mary to have the baby. That night, something wonderful happened in Bethlehem. Mary gave birth to her first child, who was a son. Because they had nowhere to stay, the Bible tells us that Mary wrapped him in a blanket and placed him in a manger, which was a feeding trough for the animals. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that God's baby son, baby King Jesus, wasn't born in a palace or even a nice warm house with a cot. He was the King of Kings, the creator of the whole world, and he was born in a stable with a feeding trough for his bed. We all know this story so well, don't we, that sometimes I think we forget the reality of what happened. God's Son, the King and creator of the whole world, was born in a cold, smelly place that was meant for animals, not for people at all. And God understands poverty. He knows exactly what being poor feels like. So I'm wondering if this week we can just have a think. Think about families who are facing difficulties and ask God to help us understand how to love them like He does. We could pray for them. We can have compassion and ask God how we can turn that compassion into practical help. Will that be okay? Do you think you can do that? Well, take care everyone. I really do miss seeing you. I hope that we can all get together properly very soon. And I'll see you next week. Bye.